Charts and graphs in his golden mind. Fortune's made, he's one of a kind. Eyes on the prize in the digital dust. He never wavers in whom to trust. From Bitcoin booms to Ethereum high, he trades the stars in the blockchain sky. Debate on crypto, king of the trade. In the world of coins, his fortune's made. With a click and a beat, he's ahead of the game. Whispers of his legend long speak his name. Wallet fat with gains never shaded. His portfolio perfectly weighted. Whales and minnows all in a line. Track his moves, wish they could align. Every tweet sends markets a spin, but he never lets the fear sink in. Algorithms dance, he's pulling the strings. In the crypto world, he reigns like a king.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I want us to analyze the market based on what happened last week and look at what we might expect this week. We're going to look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and gold. Gold has hit the next all-time high. Gold is on fire, and I want us to, look at the gold market and see how we can start making money from gold as well. Bitcoin, gold, Ethereum, Solana. These are the coins, or these are the assets that I'm gonna be talking more about on this platform onwards. And what I want us to do is build a system where we can pushing ourselves most of the time to make money from the market or take advantage of price action. We're going to focus mostly on volume profile, look at fair value gaps, other blocks, volume, see how we can position ourselves to build something sustainable for the week. If you're new here, this is the BETONG Crypto, a place where we learn crypto step by step with clarity, sincerity, and honesty. We are not about hype. We are all about analysis, looking at actual data and making decisions based on that. So let's dive straight away into this. Before we come to Bitcoin, let's just look at the crypto fear and greed index and see where we are at this point in time. Last week we had extreme fear around 11 and 16, and now we are seeing that we are at 25, let me say percent, right? That's extreme fear still. But we are climbing up gradually towards the greed area, which is something amazing. When we're down here around the extreme fear, I mentioned that this indicator is one of the top indicators out there in the space, and we can expect this to go maybe down to like 9 or let's say 8 before we start seeing like more positivity in the market. And now we are seeing this coming back in the market. And looking at crypto bubbles for the week, let's see which coins have been doing well for the week. Night, Beat. Let me refresh this page. Maybe I'm not. Let me refresh this page quickly. And guys, this is against BTC. Beat, FTN, Night, Sky. Like the ones in green have done well against Bitcoin this week, and the ones in red hasn't done well against Bitcoin this week. So if you're looking for coins that haven't been doing well, that might do well, you can look at crypto bubbles for an overview of those coins. That's what I do on a weekly basis and daily basis to look for coins that are that have strength, and also coins that might be getting ready to make the next move. Now, let's begin with Bitcoin. And I want us to start on the weekly time frame to see what last week what happened last week. Now, I'm going to go to I'm going to come back to this chart, but I want to see something different first. Yeah, then I'm going to come back again. By the way, Bitcoin has hit 90K, and I anticipated this move, long time ago. But I'm going to explain to you guys like what happened last week and what we might expect this week. Now, for us to be able to understand where price is heading towards, we need to understand what price has done last week. Now, I'm going to mark the last week high and low zone. So this is the last week high. Let's mark last week low. Okay, this is last week low. Last week low took us to about 84, let me say, give or take, 84 thousand 353 dollars. Okay. Now I want us to stay here a little bit and see what we got here. Because if we are here, which is this zone is a daily, is a weekly high, right? Then we need to make sure whatever is happening with Bitcoin that we're going to be bullish. We want to see the next or this week close above this, candle. So I'm going to take this a little bit backwards. So I'm going to be able to analyze this for next week. Let me take this a little bit backward. Yep. I'm going to take this a little bit backward. Okay. So now I have this, we have this zone. We have established now our zone based on last week low and last week high. Now, what I want us to look at now is what price has been doing on the daily time frame. So let's look at the previous days. And looking at this, I want us to go to these levels that I've already marked. Based on the order block, volume profile, and the fair value gap. We're not talk more about this. Now, this order block here has been rejecting price. And this fair value gap here has also been a key area of support. And this other block here has also been acting that way. If you look at like where price is, okay, I'm gonna go drop down to the 4 hours time frame to see this. But now, what I want us to look at now with Bitcoin is this: where is the value area high based on the volume profile, based on this structure? Because this is the value area low, the POC, which is just around where the alpha trend is. Now, I want to see if Bitcoin is around the POC right now, which is, if today's candle is gonna close, full candle is gonna close around this POC area, which is gonna be below the alpha trend, then I'm gonna expect the next candle to close or to take us straight away around this 50-day moving average. Now, one thing I'm seeing here on the daily time frame is that the 5-day EMA is about to cross the 13-day EMA, which is bullish for this time frame. But for us to be back to normal, we need to see at least the all of these moving averages crisscross the 50-day moving average, the 100-day and the 20-day moving average. For now, we are still bearish for Bitcoin. I'm gonna go to see something here. What is the Trendillo doing? The Trendillo hasn't yet given us any signal on this time frame because we are still below the 0.00 line. So we are still below this line until we cross this line before we can start being bullish again on Bitcoin on the daily time frame. Now, let's get back to this. I want to stay a little bit. Yeah. So I want to show you guys something here. Okay. Bitcoin has been building this trading zone here, and I've marked this zone with the volume profile. As I mentioned earlier, we have the POC, the value area high, and the value area low. Price has gotten back to the value area low. Now we are at the POC level, and we should expect price to go right up to this value area high. Now, if we zoom, we're going to see that we have our weekly high zone mark here. This is our weekly high zone mark here. Is that the zone? Let me go back. I think no. Let me go back to this chart. I'm gonna come back in there. So I see the weekly based on this chart. So let's see. I'm gonna mark it here instead because I want to get let's stick on this chart. So I'm gonna mark the week high and low on this chart because I want to I want to see something here. So I'm gonna mark, this is the candle. I'm gonna mark it here instead of the other chart that I use. So this one, yeah. Then I'm gonna mark it again down here. It's very important, guys. I get this mark this properly so that it'll help us in our analysis in the future. Okay. So let me make this to be a little bit straight. Okay. Now, if I go back to the daily time frame, right? This is it here. This week, the previous week high. This is the line here, and you can see it's just closer to the POC and the alpha trend zone, right? Now, for us to be able to confirm that we're going to target this high, we need to break and close above this level. That's why I think today we might see a little bit of like, okay, today kind of might take us to, let's say, 91 or $90,000, right? Around this 90, let me just say 90,500 or something. Then the next day we might take us a little bit downward, before upward. But the target here is this value area high zone. You can see in the past we have rejected this zone multiple times. Price have done this, reject. So this is an area of interest. Let me say a serious resistance level for Bitcoin on the daily time frame. So then my week or my expectation for this week to an extent is for us to go right up to, let's say, $94,000. Yeah, this area, or even higher. But this should be the 50 moving average should be the target, at least for this week. That's my not like I'm predicting the market. No, let's look at this as an expectation for what price might be doing. Okay, this week. Now, if we drop down to the 4 hours time frame, like if you want to trade this today, we have to look at this area here, this fair value, this other block. This other block has been acting as a serious other block, just around the value area low here. You can see we have gotten some rejection here multiple times, and now I'm seeing something here which is awesome. I'm seeing that we are heading towards this moving average here. This is the 200 moving average on the 4 hours time frame. So this short term move might take us straight away there. Then during the US session, which is gonna start soon, we might see a little bit pullback towards this vector candle here, towards this area where we break structure on this, like I should say, minor change of character to an extent, because we have seen full candle close around this area. Back then it was just weak, but now we are seeing full candles closing around this area, and we are seeing vector candles, and the alpha trend has printed a buy signal here. So guys, this might take us right up there, and also can still take us right up here to this value area high around $93,000 before we see any major dip to the downside. But this should be like rise level 1, then we're gonna see rise level 2, and if that's gonna be the case, then if we're gonna break this structure, we can go straight right up towards this 104, or around this other block here. There's another block here, maybe around 100 and, let me say, $2,000. Yeah, if we're gonna break this structure here around $93,000, then we're gonna take us straight away towards that area. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin, right? Let's look at Ethereum real quick. I closed my Ethereum trade yesterday, and that was a mistake. I'm gonna explain to you guys why I made the mistake. I'm not yet in Ethereum, but I'm gonna explain to you guys why I made a mistake, and you guys are going to learn from that. Okay. Now, I've tried as hard as possible to avoid trading, like to avoid looking at lower time frame. So when I saw this move here, that was around the weekend. I saw this move, downward like this red candle, I immediately realize maybe they want to go and target this this fair value gap here, this zone here. But I didn't see that we have the alpha trend here, and also we have this like the alpha trend has already printed this buy signal here. So for any move to happen, we have to see a drop close towards this area, then pull back towards that area again. So I didn't look at the structure on the 4 hours time frame. I just execute with emotions. This happens at time with emotions. I could let me close the trade and get a better entry here. Right. I would have gotten into the trade like today, but I've made a rule that I don't want to trade on Mondays. Mondays, I want to be looking at what the market is gonna do. Tuesday, I want to see how Tuesday will react to Monday price action. From there now, Wednesday, I start looking for the proper trade. Right. For now, I'm gonna be looking at the market to see what price is doing, look at expectations, where price might be heading towards, then start looking now towards the trades that I might take, either being a long, short for the day or for the week. Right. For now, I'm not in any trade. I'm just holding spot. My spot trades, that's all I'm holding. And the spot trade I'm holding is Solana and Asta. Those are my spot trades that I'm holding currently. Now, looking at at this level now, you can see the same thing happening with Bitcoin, the same thing happening with Ethereum. Okay, if we go to Bitcoin chart, let's just go to Bitcoin chart right now. You see, we have broken the 50-day moving average on the 4 hours time frame, and we are heading towards this moving average here, which is the 100-day moving average. No, this is the 200-day moving average. And if you go to Ethereum, we're gonna see we are approaching that moving average. But with Ethereum, I'm looking at this level. If you go to the weekly setup for Ethereum, you're gonna see that to me, we have hit a key area, which is this fair value gap here. On the Of course, there's another block here, but price did hit that other block. You can see here we hit that other block here, and when price hit another block, that caused cause any move or any break of structure, like this one, and left us with a fair value gap with high volume, then we should expect rejection from that area. That's why we have been seeing this rejection here, and this rejection and this other rejection here. And if we're gonna see price break and close above this, let's say just stay above the 5-day moving average on the weekly setup, then I'm gonna be super bullish. My target is gonna take me right up to this 3,500 or 3,600 price point. But what I want to see here with Solana, with Ethereum, is that I want to see Ethereum break and close above the 50-day moving average on the weekly setup before I can start looking for that long-term should I say trade, that bullish trade. For now, guys, we are still bearish. We are still bearish for Bitcoin. We are still bearish for Ethereum. Right. Now, looking at Ethereum on the daily time frame, you're going to see that the same structure here. If I bring in the volume profile, which I'm going to do right now, and mark these zones, you can see I want to mark it based on this one, not based on this one. Yeah. You want to see that, you can see that the POC is around this area, the value area high there, and the value area low here. Price has broken, is broken now the POC, which is bullish for the short term, right? Because we are still below the 50-day moving average on the daily time frame. We need to, you can see, price has been moving, rejecting from this 50-day moving average on the daily time frame. And each time it does that, you can see this other block here. There was another other block here. And if we go to where the DOM started, you can see we have another other block here, and a fair value gap. So these are all important zones that I think maybe they can easily push price there at one point. Okay. Now looking at Solana real quick, My Solana trade, my take profit for Solana trade is around 150. It's around this $150 price point. The reason why I'm doing that is because I think this this dump here from let me say 300 $253 for Solana, we haven't seen any major pullback towards this zone where the move started. So I've built this zone, or this area is now acting as my main zone before breakout. All right. And if this zone is acting as my main zone before breakout, what am I looking at? I'm looking at price to come back to the value area high. And if price is gonna come back to the value area high, right, then it means my take profit is gonna be around this POC, this value area high here. I mentioned around 150 price point. So I think if we get here, right, we are gonna see some sort of like spike towards 150, right? Then pull back a little bit towards the POC. And that pullback towards the POC is where I'm gonna get in long term. By then, the alpha trend must have printed a buy signal, to take me right up to this fair value other block here, because this other block created this fair value gap here. So I'm gonna target this area here, right up to about, let's say, give or take 190 dollars. So this zone is gonna be my zone of interest. But if I wanna like just get out from the trade at a proper zone, then I'm gonna target this candle that caused the alpha trend to print a sell signal. This candle here, this whole zone here. So from here, it's the same thing. From here, this zone here to that zone, so you can see this area, this whole area is the area where I'm gonna be looking for that, reset a little bit, like cool down before start thinking maybe price might want to take the next move to the upside. Now let's get to gold real quick. Let's see what gold is doing. Okay, gold is looking strong, like strong, guys. If you look at this carefully, I'm gonna take off the alpha trend now, because it's like gold is respecting the alpha trend on the weekly setup. So I'm gonna take off the alpha trend now. I'm gonna bring it later. But look at this structure here. Gold has been maintaining or has been rejecting or bouncing from the 50-day moving average. You can see on the weekly setup. Yeah. And now we have gone to hit this all-time high without at least resetting back to the 50-day moving average. That's why I think this move here might either take us straight to $5,000 for gold or reset to this 50-day moving average. Okay. Now, if we have to go to the let me see, where were we? Okay, this was okay. Yeah. I got it. I was talking about the daily time frame. Like I was referring the daily time frame for the weekly time frame. So this is the weekly setup. We have been below, like consistently above the 5-day and the 13-day EMA. Wow. So any move to the downside should take us at least towards the 13-day EMA. So this is how gold has been moving. And if you look at this on the daily time frame, you can see it means we should expect gold at least to an extent to retrace back a little bit towards this area, yeah, towards this moving average, yeah. But gold has hit another all-time high based on on this daily time frame, or based on today's price action. And if we look at this on the 4 hours time frame, do we have a trade here for today? Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's already late to start looking for any trade now for gold. And what we should expect to happen is simple. If you have to bring in the volume profile here to mark this key area from this high here to this zone before the big move. So we are looking or we should expect pullback around this area before we can start looking for that buy. So if we see pullback like this on the 4 hours time frame, this is short term price action, guys. You know, if we see pullback like this anytime for the week, towards this area, the POC, then you can place a buy order and target this high here. You know, that's what I think might happen. Or this is my expectation. If I want to trade gold this week, this is where I want to feel comfortable buying gold, right? Around let me say around 4,332 dollars. So this is the area where I'm gonna feel comfortable to place that buy order for gold. You know, and yeah, if you're gonna see this happen, then you're gonna drop down to the 1 hour time frame. You look for the fair value gap. I'm gonna give you this fair value gap here. So this is a fair value gap zone here, followed by the other block, followed by a fair value gap. So this was the other block that caused this move, and this is the fair value gap here that you can be looking for your trade. So the whole of this area, yeah, should be the area where you look for that trade, that gold trade. Right? The whole of this area here should be the area you look for the gold trade, because we have the fair value gap here and the other block. So this is the valid zone to wait for pullback. And if you get the pullback here, you are buying straight away to target this high, this previous high here. So that's the trades I'm looking at for gold this week. Going for a Bitcoin trade. Let's see. Okay, based on Bitcoin, if we are gonna be taking a trade today, I don't think it's gonna be like, okay, we haven't seen any major break of structure yet for Bitcoin. You can see clearly until we break and close above the. Let me just go to the 4 hours time frame. So I show you guys what I'm trying to convey here. So you can see until we close above this zone here, then we haven't done anything. We have to close above this area here, before maybe we can expect pullback around this area a little bit before continuation. All right. So Bitcoin, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's no proper structure as to, okay, this is the break of structure. We haven't seen that yet for Bitcoin. Okay, we are still in a tight zone for Bitcoin. And if we look at Ethereum, let's see, are we also in a tight corner for Ethereum? Yeah, we are also in a tight area for Ethereum. We need to at least break and close above this zone here before maybe you can see high low, on the 4 hours time. So we need to break this high here, before maybe we can have a chance. So break this high and this other high here, we can have a chance to start looking at that trade. Like when price pull back towards those key area. Like like in this case, I cannot even see any other block on this time frame. If I drop down to the let me see, maybe there's something here. No, I cannot see anything yet for Ethereum. So let's look at Solana. Let's see, is there something there for Solana? Nothing yet for Solana. So price is just choppy. We can still argue that this could be an area where we might be looking for an opportunity. Let me mark it for us, or for me here. Let me see. Yeah, for me here, towards where price is. Okay, we are now above the POC, and we can drop now down to the 15 minutes time frame to see what price has been doing. And yeah, you can see clearly. If we see that big move with another block, then we can wait for pullback towards that area. But again, this is Monday. I don't trust any price action for now for Monday. I want to wait to see what price is gonna do until Tuesday, then Wednesday. I start looking for that huge buy opportunity. Yeah, in general, that's what I'm looking at. Let's look at liquidity for Bitcoin. What we got today or this week. For this week, we have liquidity more to the downside. You can see based on this currently, we have liquidity more on the downside. That's why I think we might easily go grab this liquidity around $93,000. Then we revert back to let's say Yeah, we can go right back to $81,000. Okay. Now looking at the liquidity heat map, let's see where we are for the next 3 days, or based on the next 3 days setup, like for the past 3 days. Let's see what liquidity has been building below price so far. Okay, you can see we can easily go to $92,000. But let's look at this on the weekly setup, like the weekly, yeah, the weekly setup. Let's see. This is a 2 weeks on the weekly. Yeah, the weekly setup. Let's see on what we got here for the weekly setup. Yeah, you can see clearly we have we have less liquidity based on this weekly frame. We can it can take us right up to $92,000, right? And look at the downside; it's really crazy. So we can see price, today hit that $92,000, then take us back to around 81,000 dollars based on this. And if we look at this on the daily setup, let's see what has been building for the past day and what we might expect today based on liquidity. Let's see, it's loading. Yeah, it's the same thing, guys. The same thing. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna lie to you. This is gonna be like I'm gonna watch at this carefully to see how price is gonna react on today Monday. Today Monday, which is yeah, today Monday, then tomorrow Tuesday, and then Wednesday. I start looking for that opportunity, you know. And let's look at quick liquidity, the footprint, everything. Let's see. Okay, we have a bullish bias here. For the day, and see. Um, this MACD has crossed the yellow. This line has crossed the yellow line, which will signify bullish, and it's pointing right up. So it's bullish. That's why I think we might get to that. Let me say to an extent, $92,000. And if we like look at the liquidations level, you're gonna see that. Let me take it a little bit like this. Yeah, you can see we have liquidity here around, we have 16 million, around $92,000, exactly around that area. We can see a little bit of spike, and we have lots of liquidation levels here, and it can take us right up to these levels here around 93 $1,500. So this is really like awesome, guys. It's awesome to see what price is doing. Let me take off the liquidation levels and see where we have built liquidity below price. Let's see. Yeah, you can see the trend is showing buy, is bullish, and we have imbalance around this area, imbalances around this area that they can easily push price to. And these areas are like, let's say, it's 87, $86,000 price point. So that's what I'm looking at, guys, for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, gold. This week, that's my expectation this week. If you are trading these bad boys, then make sure you understand what might happen or what we might expect for this week. Yeah, it has been an awesome live so far. If you love it, like the video. Tomorrow again, same time. I'm gonna be doing this every day, same time. So if say you miss today, tomorrow you will not miss. You know, if I have any question, I guess not. All right, guys. See you the next one.